Welcome back to Shadow of the Colossus. So now we finally reached his cave. Let's finally fight the 14th Colossus.
You know, I've realized about the music and how,
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, something about this music seems to, use it more thematically than most stories do.
It's very ambient, yeah.
Basically, everybody, Basically, everybody, if you haven't seen it already, go to YouTube, check the channel Riding on Games. It's a great channel, by the way. His review of Detroit is hilarious.
Oh boy.
He has a great video explaining why the soundtrack of this game is pure genius.
Are we on top of? Oh,
he uses a lot of musical jargon, though, so I hope you're familiar with that.
Major birds, minor birds, augmented force.
This approach will clearly inspire Hidetaka
Miyazaki.
Hidetaka Miyazaki.
The creator of Dark Souls, for those who don't know.
Yeah, that's basically for the structure of Dark Souls. Basically having an ambient where there is practically no music at all. This scenario is doing all the job for you. And having the music just concentrated for the actual boss fight.
It's kind of like how Ace Attorney would be half of what it is without its music.
So basically, this part takes place in a particular set of ruins. This particular fight.
In a citadel.
Yeah, what remains of it, at least. Again, these ancient architects, this fucking ancient civilization that has nothing better to do than create all these things.
And let's just say this particular section of the ruins feels very similar to a certain place we're going to see in Eco later on, and when we do that game.
I was going to say it reminded me of Crash Bandicoot, but I digress. But yeah, let me guess. It's a really big Colossus who's going to chase us.
Surprisingly, well, you're right on the chase part, but no, this is actually the smallest of the Colossus. Cenobia, the lion.
It's oh goody, a lion.
Yeah, that's a thing, Jova. This thing wants us dead from the beginning.
Well, yeah.
So did this thing lay waste to the village, I wonder?
So, just like the dumb cats with our lions, this thing doesn't know how to climb things. So basically, as soon as you're on top of something, you're fine. That's the thing, though. He's still armored, so you cannot attack his weak points. So it's a matter of, it's a puzzle in finding a way to lure him in a place where you could break his armor.
Just don't fall off.
You know, it's kind of a shame. Some lions actually do know how to climb, but normally they're not that good.
When it comes to felines, it's something that is reserved more to the other parents, like jaguars, leopards, or panthers.
True, yeah. Lions can climb, but only on a need-to-know basis.
And also keep in mind, the Lion Society is matriarchal, so basically females do all the shit.
Alright, so here's the basic gimmick of it. This is basically a kind of a cat and mouse kind of thing where we're constantly trying to drag him along. And as you can notice, when we climb into one of these towers, he will try to knock us down by literally knocking the entire tower down. So,
which in turn will give you the place to go, the next place to go, in a sense of jumping on the other next platform.
So basically,
again, it's a very good, refreshing boss fight in this case.
The ultimate goal is to get to the end of this particular section we are right. However, we cannot do it unless we have something to climb onto, and that's where. So we're going to use this Colossus taking down the towers in our favor. Pave the way for us if you don't mind, good sir.
It's almost like those arrows make him mad going off of that Spidey sense icon.
Yes.
They're falling in a very...
The Spidey sense of it's because of the item that Pedro is equipped. It's one of those things that you can get through time attack and collectibles. Basically, in this case, reveals the weak point.
Actually, Teo, the bow that I'm using is a DLC item that comes with the Wonder Pack.
Oh, it's DLC? Okay, then.
Yes.
But as you get the effect, it just reveals the weak point with that spider sense icon that you just saw.
In the original, with the default bow, which was the one you had by default in the original game as well, you could only see the weak point with the arrows very close to them. But with this particular DLC item bow, you can see them from a further distance. Not to mention, this particular run is a complete new hard mode run without any time trial stuff.
Well, yeah, that's what they did not want to imply that.
Sure.
So essentially, you gotta nick him in between the armor bits ever so carefully to make him.
Surprisingly, so far the Shinobi is just leading us the way, just trying to knocking us down. It's about reaching a place that's more favorable in finding a structure than collapsing on top of a Colossus will actually break his armor.
Two things. One, even if you do for some reason fall, and don't worry, you can still climb to the towers and you'll have enough height so that you can continue and jump to the following tower. So don't worry, you'll not get stuck here. The second,
however, the problem I guess is falling down and him clobbering you.
Well, yeah, obviously. If for some reason he gives up on chasing you because he's not getting anywhere, obviously use his rage against him. Shoot him with an arrow, and that will get him angry.
Mm-hmm.
So wait, what happens if he's not angry? He'll just saunter off.
He just walks away.
He might give up. He might give up and kind of stop, which means, of course, we have to provoke him.
Yeah.
So basically, we can only really beat him if he's trying to kill us.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically it's a mutual kind of boss fight in a sense that we're trying to get him killed, but he's also trying to get us killed in the process.
So the question is again, is he the one that has the city as ruined and deserted as it is, or did he just happen to get stationed here?
No, what you just mentioned, Jova, this just happened to be his residing zone.
Ah, of course. The king gets the citadel. How funny is it that the king is one of the smaller ones?
Yeah. Oh shit, Wonder, are you okay?
Oh snap.
Yeah, since now you're on the ground, just the first thing you do, run and climb something else, because it's not good being a sitting duck in this scenario.
For this part, of course, use your
The
whistling.
whistling summons him instead of aggro.
Well, yeah, you're giving your position. And very good, Jova. Conveniently enough, a set of pedestal and upper floor just held barely by a couple of columns.
Huh. Well, that's... Well, I mean, I guess to be fair, it needs to be flexible so that he could move properly, but there you go. Huh.
And that broke his armor. And
But it
there you
didn't
go.
break his spirit.
There you go. His weak point is exposed.
Well,
So basically now it's just a matter of jumping on top of him and managing to stay enough to hit the weak point. Similar to
Colossus number
Chelosia.
10.
Yeah, Chelosia, he only has one single weak point.
He is quite aggressive, though.
Oh yeah.
I'll say, oh, how lucky for him that his helmet is intact. I wonder, what is underneath those masks?
I'm not sure I want to know, Jova, because again, it's a feature that will be shown in the extra part, but let's just say that, oh shit. But basically, Jova, yeah, fans of this game basically don't want to know what's beneath those stone masks that the Colossi have.
What, is it as bad as Nightmare from Metroid Fusion?
Well, some of them don't have masks.
Well, the faces that they usually have. Let's just say, Jova, that, again, there's this general unsettling aura about the Colossi. The fact that they have this intimidating presence despite being emotionless in their appearance.
So...
Even being aggressive, their faces remain immutable. The only thing that changes is the color of the eyes.
So I have to wonder. So you mentioned concept art. Do we actually?
And guess what?
I wonder what are you doing?
Oh,
I got lucky because because of me, he's now higher than this arc, so he can't get past. So now he's trying to run.
Wonder, don't
So you cornered him there.
Basically, he got stuck because of me. So now I can just whack him away. I got lucky here.
Oh.
Hey, well, this is quite humiliating.
And sad.
God damn it!
Well, you're yourself to blame.
Defeated by bad luck. Oh.
Physics in video games. My mother warned me they'd be the end of me.
Oh well, shit happens. Oh Jesus.
Hey buddy,
yeah,
you're
it's like you
blocking the
said,
camera
it
there. Buddy,
Oh,
you're
well.
blocking the camera with your dead body. Oh, there we go. How inconsiderate. Die in a proper way.
Well, only 2 remaining.
Indeed.
They probably have saved the best for last.
Yeah, I'm actually agreeing with that, Jova. They're not my absolute favorites, but I will say that they're perfect for the final sections of the game.
Oh boy.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I have to wonder if by the end of this, Wonder's going to end up turning into a Colossus himself. I mean, look, all that Colossus blood can't
The
be
space
good
is
for
getting
him.
a bit cramped, guys, you know.
Like, seriously, what do you want, an orgy? There's probably Rule 34 in this game.
Most like, well, Jova, that's what it is.
I
Only
don't want to see them not safe for work out for this kind of game.
No,
I'm not being
well,
funny.
I wanna really hope Shiroi no one does want.
Only 2 statues remain.
Alright, so Dormin, who's the next one?
Thy next foe is... A giant has fallen into the valley.
A sleeping giant?
It acts as a sentry to a destroyed city.
Huh.
That's
Okay.
it. Go ahead. Now go!
Oh, alright.
Dipshit.
An owl?
No, Jova. Again, the one of us crafted for
We already did the
Colossi.
bird Colossus.
Yeah, one of us crafted Colossi was actually a phoenix. The main gimmick would have been that originally would have been completely on fire, and in order to extinguish that, you would have to lure this phoenix into an entire lake, so that it would have boiled the entire lake, but as a result, the flames would have dozed out permanently, allowing you to climb it. But apparently it was removed because playtesters considering too challenging, and barely any footage of it actually remains in some screenshots.
So it's kind of like the Stormy Ascent of its time.
Kinda, yeah. But again, Joe, the dominant content of this game is a lot due to the decision during development. Back when this remake was announced, I was hoping at least some of it would have been restored, but it was clear that Bluepoint wanted to play more safe in how handling this, and also since Ueda was the consultant of this, it was also his decision just to keep everything as it was in the original, just by updating, and that will be it.
It's kind of like my wishes for a Crash to Insanity remake. I want a remake that includes all the dummied out content that was dummied out, not because of issues, but because the game got rushed. It's a game that's already amazing, and my favorite non-original trilogy Crash Bandicoot game, if not my favorite Crash game in general. But holy cow!
You see that on the right, those waterfalls? I did not remember them at all in the original. One thing that, again, the attention to detail in the background for minimal things like this, for places that you don't even get to explore, is amazing in this remake.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I'm guessing considering the kind of art style they went for, it was pretty difficult to see a lot of things in the original game.
Especially considering the circumstances of the game being open world on a console that was...
Couldn't handle that shit.
It wasn't so much the art style.
A game that was ahead of its time.
It wasn't so much the art style, it was more so the fact that they were trying to
was the
do an
fidelity.
open world game in a console that could not handle open world games.
And I mean, the open world...
Grand Theft Auto 3 on the PS2?
Nah, that's more of a sandbox game. It's kind of different in the sense that...
it was the procedural rendering of the cities was a bit different. Here, you have much more open spaces. You need to see a lot more things, both in the foreground and the background. For example, here, while in a place like GTA, you have buildings, cars, things that are more in the foreground that kind of obfuscate what could be in the background when it's loading as you progress through. It's basically technique in how to trick the player into players' visions.
Although, to be fair though, open world and sandbox tend to be considered simultaneous, if not the same genre.
Oh, yeah, that's what I mean. I myself would consider a bit a sandbox game like GTA also open world in a sense that you could explore freely up from a certain point on.
I mean, we did also have
just,
Jaws on.
It's just handling in different ways. It's different than, for example, a game like Mad Max would handle a thing like this.
It's mostly because GTA was a game that was clearly made with the PS2's limitations in mind, whereas this game, the original release, I mean, not only did it have these giant, monstrous models that were incredibly taxing on the system, but you were supposed to have all of that while at the same time having a world that is open, where the draw distance always works so that you get to see where you're going.
And originally it was even supposed to be co-op.
Yeah,
like,
so
I don't
it's
even want to imagine how could have that turned out.
it's one of those. It's a game that was literally too much for the PS2 to handle, which is why the PS3 remaster by Bluepoint and now the remake was incredibly essential to make, so that we could put those issues to death, basically.
Hey, speaking of open world games on the PS2, who else remembers Legend of Zelda? I mean, Jack and Dexter. I mean, The Legend of Kay.
There you go, Jova. Just like Dormin told us, this is a valley in the ruins of a city. But wait, there's no real Colossus not even in the distance.
He did say that giant has fallen into a valley, I think.
I wonder.
It's waiting to pop up and get us, isn't it?
It's one of the buildings.
Again, I'm
Surprisingly
waiting for
not.
one of those. Because,
It's just waiting.
I mean, these things are pretty much living buildings. I'm surprised that not one of them has thought up the idea to hide as a building. Oh, what do you know? I think I was right.
And yeah, when Dormin means that this thing is giant, he really means it.
And yet the one after this is even bigger.
Yeah, this is Argus, the Sentinel.
Huh.
I mean, keep in
come
mind
here often?
yeah,
Hi.
Phalanx is still
Hi.
bigger, technically, all things considered. But this is easily one of the most bigger, probably the third biggest Colossi.
The second biggest one, was that the third one?
No, the Phalanx is the first one. Then there's the 16th Colossi, and then there's this.
All right, this boss is one of the
Was the
tough.
16th one the dragon?
No, Phalanx was the 13th.
So the 16th one, though, that's the biggest, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
this-
the one that
final
we haven't
one.
seen yet.
And you're
Go
telling me
ahead,
that the first one is actually the second biggest. Huh.
Uh-oh.
And boom. Basically,
thanks.
once again, you have to trick the Colossus into helping you finding a higher ground.
This Colossus in particular can be a real bitch to fight in hard
Yeah.
mode, because
Really?
yes, because he has 3 weak points, and the final weak point, well, hell, even the second weak point can be a bitch to do. This Colossus requires a lot of dexterity from you and a good amount of patience.
Yeah.
Oh, you can actually
He
snipe
doesn't
their
really
weak
care
points
about
with
your
the
puny
arrow.
arrows.
Actually, looks like
actually,
it's really
Shiroi,
in a bit.
you want to rethink that, Shiroi?
Yeah, look, he's losing a bit of health. Granted, it's not as much as from a sword stab, but still.
You can only chip away a bit of it. You cannot kill a Colossus by just spamming arrows all the time.
Yeah.
That's not gonna
Really?
work.
You sure
No.
you can't? I mean,
No,
After a while, we just stop dealing damage.
It
okay.
was established by Dorman in the beginning of the game that since
Only
he
the
does,
sword,
only the
because
sacred
it's-
sword that Wanderer has can kill the Colossi.
theirs might deal some damage, but in the long run, all they'll do is make him mad.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the arrows are, for the most part, used when you want to lure the Colossus to you.
Yeah. That's also why, unless of those special arrows that you use as rewards, normally in a standard normal campaign you only have one single type of arrow. That's because that's all that you need. It's not like, say, a Zelda game where you need specific types of arrows to resolve particular puzzles. Come on. Here we go.
Oh boy.
Even if you could use the arrows to kill them, I mean, would you really want to? Because you'd be there for a very long time.
Yeah. I mean,
it
trust me,
depends,
sure, there
right?
are
There are
a
some
lot of very
gamers who wanna
patient
try and do
people that would
those-
bother doing that.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's actually kind of how I killed one of the toughest bosses in Inokuni 2, Shiroi, because he was so tough.
Here we
At level,
go.
he was around at level 108 or something when I was at level 70 or something.
Got your
So,
face.
so in order to not take risk, Shiroi, and to keep myself alive, I basically spammed magic spells at him for like 30 minutes.
Also, this Colossus loves to shake a lot. So I don't even want to imagine how hard mode.
Oh, trust me, Teo, this guy is a fucking shaker motherfucker in hard mode. It like not so much in the head, but in the other two. And
We have a bit more balance here, I guess. Just a little bit.
there you go.
Unfortunately, there you go. That's all for the head.
Now we have to go for
The heart, I think.
the heart. Yes. What?
Back.
Jesus.
Do you mind?
You know,
He does actually.
Yes, actually.
I gotta wonder if they managed to kill us, what would happen to their weak spots? Would they eventually regenerate, perhaps?
You restart the battle from the beginning.
Oh, no. I get that. I'm just speaking concept-wise. Imagine, you know, the Colossus managed to kill the hero. So what? Does the Colossus have to live the rest of his or her life with that one mark missing, or do they
I
eventually?
guess,
die?
Jova. I never bother exploring the concept of this.
Again, what they should have gotten was some hero repellent.
Unfortunately, we were not upgraded enough for the time being. Besides, technically the only weakness that they had... Oh, there you go.
Find its hidden vitals. I know
No
that.
kidding!
Thanks, Dormin.
Hey, Dorman, how about you tell us a secret strategy to always stay sticking onto them when they shake around like they just don't care?
You're really great. We should add you for the Ultimania guides.
There we go. Got it.
Okay, look, this won't
Stab
hurt.
through the heart.
Okay, this
Jesus.
doesn't hurt, but God, I
But,
can't think of anything I'm going to tell you.
Teo, stop this crazy thing.
Jesus Christ, calm your tits, bro.
Literally.
Yeah, I think we're actually grasping onto those. Ew.
It's only fur, Jova.
Uh-oh.
Was that a jump cut?
Yes, didn't you notice the stamina meter?
Yeah,
Basically,
I guess you fell off when you needed
I
to
fell
get
off.
back.
I fell off because I
Yeah,
ran out
that's
of
the thing,
stamina.
Jova. Falling off and trying to climb again, this kind of Colossus, that it spends a lot of time, so yeah.
I can imagine. Well, I mean, you know,
Like
the
I
bosses
said,
are-
this is a duel between which one of you has more patience.
I mean, essentially, these bosses are the levels, since, you know, like Cuphead, it's a
Oh yeah,
game mainly centered around bosses, so I can imagine some would take quite a bit of time.
that's the exact analogy that one of the guys at Blue Point makes in the behind-the-scenes videos we're going to see in the extras part. That it's like you're literally walking in a moving level.
Yep.
All right, let's try this again.
Oh, I can't wait to see where his third weak point is after this.
You'd
Yeah.
be surprised, Jova.
It's
This one actually caught me by surprise the first time I handled it. I wasn't expecting it to be there. I mean, the final one,
I mean, we've already seen someone get stabbed in the butt and one gets
Uh-oh.
stabbed in the crotch, so how weirder can we get?
It's not weird, it's just surprisingly. Oh my
good.
god, Dormin, we know. You know,
We
maybe
are
that's the reason
stabbing.
why you're that lonely as a god.
I know, right? We are literally stabbing the hidden vitals.
And there we go. By one stab. God damn it.
Still.
Oh, actually, no, by two
shining.
stabs. Never mind, by two stabs. That was it. There you go.
Maybe if there we go.
Alright, basically now I climb all the way back up, because now here's what we have to do. His final hidden spot is hidden.
It's in his
Yep.
mouth.
No, it's not in
Nope,
his mouth.
surprisingly no, Jova.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
In the palm of his hand that's holding the sword.
Basically,
Precisely.
basically
So we need to
explore
make
his
him drop
body.
that
Explore his body, and you'll eventually find, oh, what's this?
Oh.
It's not a
Oh.
proper weak point, but it's something where you could hit with your sword.
Let's try it. If
This
he,
may sting a bit.
As Anna will say.
and he dropped
There you
his
go.
weapon.
Oh, that hurt.
There you go.
And now the triumphant music finally starts.
Yep. So I guess he can't pick his weapon back up.
It
Nope.
broke.
He broke it.
Okay,
And basically,
so...
since he lost his patience, also because of the wounds, he doesn't try to attack more rationally. Instead, tries to swing or try to grab with your hand, with his hand, which means it's a good opportunity
There you
for
go.
you.
There's where the weak point is. In
in
the palm of its hand.
Looks like somebody
that
didn't tell him.
like a chore.
Looks like somebody didn't tell him how to punch properly. You gotta do it with your hand cast closed from outside, not inside.
Basically, you have to try to get him to punch you in the ground. So just keep.
What we really need is for him to high five us.
Yes. Now here's the question:
Talk to
what's
the
gonna
hand.
stop? Now here's the question: what's gonna stop him from crushing us when we're inside his palm?
That's actually what I thought as well. I say, oh wait, I get to the palm and then he starts just closing it, but no, he just shakes it.
Yeah, it's not actually a weak point, it's a
Wow.
tattoo or something.
You know, dude, you're kind of stupid like that.
Remember, Joe, it's not thinking rationally anymore because of the wounds. So I guess that's the reason.
You want to shake? Or are you just gonna accept
Basically,
your
that's the
fate?
thing, Jova. As long as he has the palm not aligned for Wonder to get back to stay still while grabbing onto it, Wonder cannot attack. So he doesn't even need to shake that violently. That whoever is dead finally.
Whew. And so passive a worthy foe. He's now turning to dust.
Oh yeah, like all the others. How many more times am I gonna pass out in this game?
This floor
One
tastes
more.
fun.
However many you kill, dude.
Well, that's 15 down. Only one to go to complete the party.
The final Colossus is in the south of the map, and he's in a door that you have to open by using the light of your sacred sword, and it will only open if you've defeated all the 15 previous Colossi.
Well, I mean, we're required to, so I guess we got that
It's
covered.
more theatrical also in that way, so basically that's what
Oh
it
wait,
means.
let me guess. If you come across that door, they'll basically say, no, you can't go there
It's
yet.
for the sake of climax, because considering how absolutely climatic the final boss of this game is,
Yeah.
it would feel so awkward to have him to be the
because
first
of
one we
something
do.
that happened- and also because of the process of getting there. But again, no spoiling.
Again, I get the feeling though, something's gotta happen with that human entourage that's coming here too.
I don't know, Joe, but let's check how Wonder is about after Dormin tells us. What we-
Finally, the last Colossus.
Why are you saying finally? We've been doing the work.
The ritual is nearly over. Thy wish is nearly granted.
Totally not a catch.
blink,
But
blink.
someone now stands to get in thy way.
Eh?
Well, the last Colossus.
Mario?
Mamma mia!
Make haste, for time is short for some reason.
I will defeat the Sony! Yahwahoo!
Of course.
Alright then. We
You're
have
not even
our
gonna
final
describe
target.
The final Colossus.
Oh well.
I wonder.
And then we
Literally.
could get our happy ending.
Yes.
Yes,
again,
of course.
Again, we're doing this to save our girl, which is dead.
Of course. We're the good
That's
guys.
usually
then.
how this shit goes, right? Right?
Here's something that this actually
Right?
brings it back to life. And that this wasn't all just a ploy to.
Hopefully it doesn't kill me or, kill her even more, but
Let's
it's
check on.
fine.
Whoa, Wonder.
That neck is really
Oh.
bad. You should see a doctor.
Well,
looks
not just the neck,
it looks like
even
a
his
hand.
face.
Like,
He's
look at the
very
way that-
pale.
Look at that black stuff. It looks like a hand mark.
And look at
almost
his
on
arms as
neck.
well. Or is that just the clothes?
Nah, again, I'm
No,
pretty sure
no,
that's
no,
just
Clothes.
dirt.
Yeah.
So I guess take a shower.
Alright,
one.
but before we end this
Oh,
part,
this one, yay.
let's check
Yeah.
let's check this cave that you can find in the forest that I didn't show off up until this
Oh,
point.
let me guess. A super boss.
So, Shiroi,
Surprisingly not.
Jova,
Yeah.
does this look familiar to you?
Oh my
Huh.
god. A barrel.
With butterflies
They
around it.
killed
A
kids.
bright blue glowing barrel.
How many-
Barrel.
How many kids have those colossi killed?
And you can't. I can't pick it. Sorry, I can't pick it up. I tried picking it up.
Well,
But
of course you can't pick it up because there's no tree code.
You get a trophy for discovering this.
All right,
by
another
the way.
thing. That golden thingy. This is a new thing in the remake. There's a total
Coins, I
of 60.
think.
Is it 68? Whatever. There's a good
62, I think.
62 coins that blue points spread all over the world of the game, and if you catch all of them, you'll be rewarded with a brand new sword that's exclusive to this remake.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right, everybody. Tune in next time for the epic conclusion of Shadow of the Colossus.
See ya.
Okay then.
See ya.
See ya.